This is TK Coleman, and you're listening to Small Business Edge by Ceteris. This is the podcast where we deconstruct small business entrepreneurship through conversations with franchisees, passion-based business owners, and other experts. We learn what it takes to succeed. I am very excited about today's guest, particularly because I believe her story defies a very common entrepreneurial stereotype. The stereotype that successful people are people who have this really precise understanding of what their passion is at a very early age, and they follow a linear path to achieving their goals. Helaine Knapp is the total opposite of that. She did not know what her startup would be while she was living her day-to-day life, helping build up another startup. And I'll let her dive into the details of her own story, but she has a really cool story about how she stumbled onto her idea. So we're going to talk about that today. We're also going to talk about the nuts and bolts of what entrepreneurial life looks like. Helaine Knapp is the CEO and founder of City Row, which is a boutique fitness studio offering a one-of-a-kind workout that combines rowing intervals on sexy water-based row machines with dynamic sculpting exercises for the perfect balance of cardio and strength training. Since opening in early 2014, City Row has amassed a pretty devoted following and earned raves from the likes of Vogue, Harper's Bazaar, Details, and much more. Helaine, it's awesome to have you joining me today. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
All right, let's dive in by talking about your story. Tell us how you got into rowing.
It's a great question. So picture 2012, 2013, first few jobs out of college, working in publishing, high fashion magazine, Condé Nast, working with advertisers, super boring, not innovative. There was nothing cutting edge about it. So found myself in the tech startup world, which was awesome. I loved it. Mm-hmm. That was my day-to-day, was social media marketing technology. And after work, I went to the gym. After college, I totally fell in love with a balanced lifestyle, going to the gym, cooking a healthy dinner. And then while I was in the tech world, all of a sudden, it was kind of hard to get to the gym by 7 because I was working my ass off. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I started to become part of this boutique fitness scene. My friends and I would book SoulCycle, boot camp, yoga, whatever it was, we'd book those classes together. And I was held accountable not only financially, because I paid for the class ahead of time, but socially. I'm a very social person, so always picking between burgers and beers with friends or going to the gym and cooking a healthy dinner was a tough decision for me literally every day. So needless to say, I love boutique fitness. I couldn't get enough of it. I was a girl that was 30 packs at SoulCycle, dancing on a spin bike. And about 2012, early 13, my tech company sold, started to work for another one. And all of a sudden I wasn't feeling so great. My back hurt. I was injured. I was really frustrated. And my doctor told me I needed a low impact workout. And I was like, what is that? Right? I'm a 25-year-old girl. All I know is my friends are spinning and going to yoga. I can't go to my classes that I love anymore. Did some digging and there just wasn't anything great out there that fit the bill for what my body needed. Started talking to my friends. Turns out everyone else was injured in some capacity, which kind of blew my mind because I'm we're pretty young. My trainer, always loved personal training, couldn't always afford it, said to me, you should try rowing. It's total body. It torches calories and it's low impact, which you need. And I was like, absolutely not. That's gross.
Wait. Why were you like, absolutely not? It's just another exercise. Why did you think it was gross?
Think about it though, right? 5 years ago, you didn't think of a 25, 26-year-old girl decked out in Lululemon rowing. You thought of, or at least I thought of,
sure.
No offense to rowers, but I thought of a Winklevoss twin. And I thought of a really big CrossFit dude who's going to row for 30 seconds really fast and then go lift the heaviest thing in the room and then walk out. So
So this
that was
this
that was
is
the
not you.
That's not me. I like to wear Lululemon on the weekends after I've worked out. And so wrote it off initially, but just couldn't get my head around the fact that there wasn't anything great in the market.
Hmm.
There was not a smart workout that gave people results, but also kept their bodies safe. And so I saw an opportunity to create something better, create something smarter. And as much as I had these negative connotations about the rowing machine, I couldn't get away from it. So I dug in, learned how incredible it was for you. I found the sexy machine, right? It's a water rower. So it's wooden. It's got a water tank in it. Like it's organic, feels very organic. They're made in Rhode Island. Like you kind of want to touch it, right? Because it's so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, if we're going to make rowing sexy, like we got to use this machine. Quickly realized rowing was hard and nobody wanted to row for an hour. I certainly didn't. But I was like, what I do want is a strong body, a strong core, and like we've got to lift some weights. Like if we're going to change our bodies, like, you do a lot body weight wise, but like if you're going to lift weights, we can take it to the next level. So what about pairing some strength training work with this unsung hero of the gym was the initial idea. Threw up a website to get some signups, assessed demand, completely took off. And I was like, oh my God, I've got to see what this thing can do.
Can we back up a little bit? I want
Go
to.
for it.
I want to probe into that transition from girl who hates rowing, falls in love with rowing, does it, experiences the benefits, and then decides, I think I want to go into business with this. Because you always love fitness and so forth, so maybe that element isn't very surprising, but how did you go from I hate rowing to I want to go into business? At what point did you decide this was something that you needed to share with the world?
It was somewhere between being personally frustrated that there was nothing in a space that I loved that worked for me. I loved boutique fitness. I wanted to be part of my life every day, and all of a sudden I couldn't be a part of it. Why? Because there wasn't something that was low impact but still high intensity. A low impact workout would have also been like mat Pilates. Not going to work for me. I'm a fairly intense human. So like I need to crush a workout.
Help me out a little bit, Helaine. You refer to boutique fitness. What does the boutique do to this term? Most people have a concept of a gym, but what is boutique fitness?
Sure. So it's small group for the most part. It's pay per class. And it started out being boutique because it was fairly niche and there were not a ton of them. But I think the definition is pay per class and a like-minded community.
And when you first started the rowing, what kind of context were you in where you got to do that?
I had to create it.
So in order to do the rowing, you had to create it from scratch. There was no place you could go.
Correct.
You could row.
There wasn't anywhere to do it. But I kind of couldn't get out of my mind that there was a spin studio in every corner.
I got you.
This thing was better for you. So that's what was a big impetus behind me taking this to the next level and going from I hate rowing, but I know that it's fantastic and I love this space and there's nothing for me. So the combination of those two factors paired with this entrepreneurial spirit that I didn't even know I had, but I was in the startup world, so I knew it was possible, plus being super naive.
That's amazing. So, one of my favorite quotes in the world is criticize by creating. If you see something in the world that just makes you annoyed, or if there's something you wish were there, be the one to build it. Be the one to create it. And you seem to be a living example of that. Now, when you started this, you said you put together your website. You said, I'm going to go all in and make this happen. You had no experience with founding a startup before, right?
And I knew nothing about fitness.
So how did you do it? Did you just experiment and discover this through trial and error? Did you bring on friends? Walk us through that process.
So when I first had the idea, I brought it to a serial entrepreneurial friend of mine who was like, this is a great idea. Let's do a pop-up next weekend. And I was like, thank you for your support, but no. For a lot of reasons, we can't do a pop-up. I need a physical space. I need someone to teach this class that I kind of have an idea of what it is. So we assess demand in a different way. Through a teaser website, sign up here for the next big thing, group fitness, 1 or 2 lines on what we did. And the idea behind that was, let's see if we get a couple hundred signups. Let's see if anybody actually wants to do this, the idea of this.
Mm-hmm.
And then if we get a couple hundred, maybe I'll raise a little bit of money, open a studio and see what could happen. So we threw up a teaser website and it just completely took off.
It completely took off. I'm very curious about the demographic. Were they like 25, 24-year-olds, or were they the people that fit in your stereotype?
Well, if I were to do it again, I would have asked all those questions when they signed up, but I didn't do that. So I just got their emails and I had to delete all my mom's emails out of the emails to see what kind of demand we had for it. And it was a combination of people, right? So on the one hand, you're talking, 5 years ago now, people who were just looking for the next thing in fitness, right? What's next? What's coming onto the scene?
Mm-hmm.
And that was us. So there were inklings about it. We had friends sharing it on Facebook and talking about it. And the steady stream of signups were coming. So I have to hypothesize that it was a combination of fitness fanatics in New York City combined with people who were also a little bit forward thinking, who were looking for a rowing workout. Were they former rowers? Probably not. Because what I've learned is they all have PTSD. But it was a fitness fanatic who was looking for the next thing, or somebody that also heard that rowing was great and was looking for it. That was the initial demographic of who we got.
Take me through the customer experience. If someone's listening to this and they go, this is fascinating, I want in, what would be their next step, and what would their experience be like if they walk into one of your studios? So
we've got 2 locations in New York, one Union Square, one on the Upper East Side. They're very different feelings. One's on the 15th floor of an office building in Union Square,
mm-hmm.
and one's ground floor on the Upper East Side. But wherever you walk in, whoever's class you take, I believe in a very welcoming environment. We're not going to alienate anyone. And one of the beauties of City Row is that it is a very scalable workout and anybody can do it.
Mm.
It's really cool to see a triathlete crushing workout next to my mom. And they can both push themselves within the confines of what we're doing and get their personal best, but still be in a group environment. And that's been really fun to see, watch, and continue to build. So we teach everybody how to row once you get into class. We remind everyone of those first few minutes. And it's a really great high intensity environment, but it's also uplifting. So I hope you do it. You do come to New York City and check it out.
I'll have to do it. I'll actually be in New York in another month, so I may have to come by one of the studios. Okay, so one very common question I get is, how do I find time to build my dream while I'm busy working for someone else? You have lived that. And you didn't just work for someone else in a traditional job where you had a set time where you could stop thinking about work. You worked for a startup. I like to know, what kind of hours were you working? What kind of lifestyle were you living to be able to build your own startup while working in an executive position for another one?
Let the record state I don't recommend that.
Okay.
2 startups is not the best idea for long-term sanity, but that was the card that I was given and I ran with it, or I rode with it, whatever we want to say with that.
Oh, okay, wait. I got to play devil's advocate with that, because something that comes up a lot is a lot of successful people, they'll do something risky and crazy and it'll work out and it'll turn out to be amazing. And then they'll say, yeah, but don't do this. Why not? I mean, it worked for you.
I think there is a way to say that it worked for me. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking back to that time in my life, and I've had friends even reflect on this to me, I was too stressed out.
Mm.
I was too burnt out.
Mm.
I didn't take care of myself in the way that I would like to, and I am able to today, and I've made a priority. Also comes with growing up a little bit, but I was burning both ends of the candle, right? So the beauty about working for a startup and having a flexible schedule, even though, I was an executive, is that you have flexibility. So I was able to run out to lunches or come in a little bit later and work at night. And I know myself very well. I'm going to get it done. And so I make sure that I put myself in an environment where my superiors know that and they're not judging me where I am at any time of day. So I actually got a glowing review 2 weeks before I quit, after City Row had launched, which was mind-blowing to me. I think I was also in an environment where I knew what to do. I'm not saying that it was easy, but it came very naturally. And I was able to channel my energies into the growth and the building of City Row.
That is such a great point that you got this really good review just 2 weeks before leaving, because I like to say you can't go the extra mile until you at least go the required mile. You go the required mile and then beyond that to get to the extra one. And it's very easy to let your current responsibilities slip to the back burner when you've got some creative dream that you're working on. So I love that part of your story, that you found a way to build your thing on the side while still creating a lot of value for this thing that you knew you wouldn't be doing for the rest of your life. How did you find the motivation to do that?
I think I was lucky enough that the company I was working for, I actually really loved. I believed in their product. Mm-hmm. And therefore, the job came naturally to me because I'd already done it before. Mm-hmm. And so, someone once told me, it's not about managing your time, it's about managing your energy. Mm. So where are you putting all of your energy? At the time, I was putting almost all of my energy into City Row and managing my team. I didn't have to learn the business or kind of like navigate anything else too crazy in that environment. And so I was able to split them between the two.
Okay. All right. So back to the lifestyle. We have that preface on the record. What you are about to hear is not an endorsement or a recommendation for what you ought to do if you're trying to build a startup. But tell us the good, bad, and the ugly of the lifestyle you had to live to make this happen.
Y'all should go for it if you want to. Just know it's going to be crazy. There's a lot of late nights falling asleep with my computer open to Excel spreadsheets that I didn't even know how to build. And waking up too early to get a breakfast meeting in before going to my day job. So that was the hardest part for me, was having to burn the candle at both ends and knowing that I also need to take care of myself by working out, going to bed, taking some space, getting away. That's really what suffered for me personally at the time. And, don't forget, I was actually fairly injured. So I was dealing with a pretty serious back injury while still trying to keep my day job cranking along and let them thinking I'm doing a great job, which I guess I was in retrospect, and building this company. But my mom had always told me, and you gotta take what your mom says with a grain of salt, but your 100% is so much more than anyone else's, because I do give so much, and I am so efficient and so focused that when I had that moment of reflection on myself, I'm capable of doing more. Mm-hmm. It gave me the space to say, you know what? I can still give the equivalent of 100% to my day job, but also give 100% over here. And so when that light bulb clicked that I had more than 100% to give, it kind of opened the door for me to be able to do both in the right way. But it was hard. I sacrificed a lot. My friends probably hated me.
Helaine, if you could go back in time and talk to your younger self with the wisdom that you now have, do you think you'd be able to give advice that would allow younger you to still achieve this without going about it in as unhealthy of a way?
There is probably a way to do it. I think it requires not giving 150% to everything. And I'm throwing around a lot of percentages here, but I probably could have given a little less to my day job. And I could have said no to things that, whether it's, a family obligation that like you really don't want to do, but you're kind of just doing it out of guilt, or, just saying no to more things to be able to make space for these two important things and to make space for yourself. But I think that that's something that any entrepreneur or any hustler goes through and learns just in time, is that like how important it is to find your own work-life rhythm and carve out time for yourself, and that really does refuel you.
All right. So let's talk about what that looks like for you now. So here you are, a startup founder and a CEO, and these are terms that get tossed around a lot. It's very sexy nowadays to be a startup founder, to be a CEO, and everybody kind of thinks they know what that is. I like to know what your day-to-day life looks like, in terms of how much time you're putting in terms of what kind of work does a startup founder actually do?
So every day is different. Everyone will probably tell you that. You have to learn a lot about yourself and how do you work most effectively. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say it again. I think it's more about managing your energy than managing your time. Mm-hmm. I could have a short day where I am on the subway 15 times, but I'm still home by 6:30. That will take more energy for me than if I'm up at 7, working from my apartment nonstop, maybe going out for 1 or 2 meetings, into a dinner and whatnot. So I think it really is understanding what kind of drains your energy more and how to refill it up and how to continue to create that balance. So for me, I know once I leave the house, I'm probably not going to get on my computer much throughout the day, because that's just the nature of running around the city, taking meetings nonstop, being in studios, being on the phone. And so I try and carve out a morning for myself. It's rare and it's special that I'll take a breakfast or agree to meet somewhere anywhere before 10 or 11 a.m. because that morning time is so crucial for me to mentally prepare for the day. So once I leave the house, who knows what's going to happen?
Every day is different. Do you have any routines that you practice religiously, whether it's a getting up time or a reading time or anything along those lines?
I have a pretty awesome morning routine that doesn't happen every day, but I live a few blocks from Central Park. And when I can get up with enough time in the morning to go over there and take about a 2-mile just to walk and listen to some podcasts in the morning, get some fresh air, come back to my apartment, have some coffee, dig into some emails, and kind of have like an easy gradual entrance into the day, I found success for me there.
Helaine, one way in which successful people are often stereotyped is they're categorized as being on a different plane than the rest of us, and they've graduated to a level where they no longer have problems because now they have money, they've got respect, they've got connections, and everything comes together for them easily. I like to know, what are you failing at right now?
That is not true. Yeah. Most founders and CEOs have not figured it out. I think it is a little bit of a smoke and mirrors game. Just because you've got a company that's moving does not mean that you're making a lot of money, does not mean that you're not stressed. It probably means that you're more stressed out because you've got people that are relying on you for a paycheck. And that is a very scary place to be when businesses are growing or in flux. And so I think that anybody who's kind of looking to judge or, make an assumption about an entrepreneur or a founder or a CEO should kind of come in with another set of lens that, it's probably not all rainbows and butterflies and that we all project an image, but who knows what's behind the curtain.
Does it make it difficult for you to think about the kinds of creative ideas that can lead to growth while at the same time maintaining this sense of responsibility for people that are kind of depending on you for as much predictability and security as possible?
Yes, it's terrifying.
And how do you keep the creative ideas coming? How do you not let that stop you?
It's really hard, right? It's that notion of working on the business, not in the business. So I want to be in my studios all the time. I want to be talking to clients. I want to be talking to my team. I want to be inspiring my team. But then I'm not going out and meeting new people and, hearing from them and learning from them, seeing what else is out there and trying to grow the business in the way that I know it needs to be to make everyone happy. So that is a constant balance for everyone that I deal with on a minute-by-minute basis.
What is the one thing you wished you knew when you first started?
I think you have to go in with a little bit of naivety or you wouldn't do it. Had I known how hard this was going to be, probably wouldn't have done it. A lot of entrepreneurs say that because you've got the highs of highs that come on the same day as the lows of lows. So I think if I was able to, in the beginning, prioritize my energy and my time in the way that I've kind of almost figured out now, it's not perfect, never will be, that would have helped me get through some of it at an emotional and mental level. But it's really hard. Like, you've got to be prepared.
Helaine, thank you so much for joining us today. If people want to know more about you and what you're up to in the world, how can they find you?
cityrow.com or cityrow on Instagram, Helaine Knapp on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter as well. But, you can find us.
And we'll make sure we include all of that in the show notes. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, TK.
For added insights and a full collection of episodes from Small Business Edge, visit Ceteris.com/podcast.